Hello, friend. Hope you enjoyed all the conversation lessons. I am sure you can now converse confidently in any situation. You must put to use all the words and expressions that you have learned in this course. Take a pledge that you will speak only in English and you will soon find yourself very fluent. This lesson is about words often confused. Some words seem so alike that we misuse them. We use one instead of the other. Here is a list of such words. It will help clear your confusion. Not only have I given the meaning of these words, but I have also used them in sentences so that you will remember them better. Here we go.
Leave. விட்டு செல்லுதல். I leave my office at 7 o'clock sharp. She left her keys behind. After leaving the army, he joined a private company. Let. அனுமதி அளித்தல். The teacher let the students have a free hour. We cannot let our laziness overcome us. Let us pray now, said the pastor. Lose. தொலைத்தல். He never loses his self-confidence. England lost the match against India. After losing his father, he has become a mental wreck. Loose. தளர்ச்சியான. She has become so thin that her clothes are losing and ill-fitting. This belt is loose. Give me a smaller size. The ring was loose and so it slipped and fell somewhere. Pour. ஒரு பாத்திரத்திலிருந்து மற்றொரு பாத்திரத்திற்கு ஒரு திரவத்தை மாற்றுதல். He poured the wine into the wine glass. The hostess poured the tea into the teacups. She poured the water into the saucepan to make the gravy. Spill. திரவத்தை தவறவிடுதல். சிந்துதல். Some of the water spilt on the ground. The waiter spilt the tea on her clothes and got scolded. Don't spill food on the table. Eat slowly and neatly. Hung. பொருட்களை தொங்க விடுதல் அல்லது மாட்டுதல். He hung the shirt on the hanger. The fans hung the banner in front of the cinema hall. The doctor's board was hung in front of his clinic. Hanged. மனிதர்கள் மற்றும் விலங்குகளை தூக்கிலிடுதல். மாட்டுதல். They hanged Bhagat Singh at the gallows. The judge gave the judgment that he should be hanged to death. The butcher hanged the dead goat in front of his shop. Provide. தேவையானதை கொடுத்தல். He was provided with pen and paper to write the letter. The witness provided the police with lot of useful information on the crime. The people want the government to provide them the basic necessities of life. Provided. நிபந்தனைக்குட்பட்டு. He promised to attend the meeting provided they do not ask any questions. I will meet you tomorrow provided it doesn't rain. India will cooperate with its neighbors provided they don't interfere in her internal affairs. Rob. ஒரு ஆள் மற்றும் வீடு, மேஜை, பாதுகாப்பு பெட்டகம் போன்றவற்றிலிருந்து திருடுதல். He was robbed of his belongings. They robbed the house under cover of darkness. She robbed the locker of its contents. Steal. ஒரு பொருளை திருடுதல். The man who stole your money has been caught and handed over to the police. It is wrong to covet or steal others' things. The stolen goods were recovered from his house after a thorough search. Ingenious. புத்திசாலித்தனமான. அறிவு கூர்மையுடைய. Scientists are ingenious. The ingenious boy solved all the problems in a jiffy. Albert Einstein was ingenious even as a child. Ingenious. ஒளிவு மறைவற்ற. கள்ளம் கபடமற்ற. Villagers are ingenuous. The ingenuous child won the hearts of all present there. His ingenuous nature makes him very gullible. Childish. சிறுபிள்ளைத்தனமான. She behaved very childishly and walked out of the room. Childishly. She demanded more place in the car. He is pampered by his parents and so he always behaves childishly. Childlike. குழந்தையை போன்ற. Her childlike innocence made her very popular. Gandhiji's childlike smile was his trademark. With a childlike curiosity, she started opening her gifts. Aggravated. மேலும் கேடாக்குதல். The enmity between the two countries was aggravated because of the terrorist activities. His health condition got aggravated after the jaundice attack. The flood situation in the city got aggravated when the rains didn't stop. Irritated. எரிச்சலடைதல். She got irritated with her husband for forgetting their wedding day. The teacher was irritated with the student who habitually defaulted on his homework. The oil is irritating my throat. Uninterested. நாட்டமற்று. After the attack of typhoid, he is totally uninterested in food. He was uninterested in the movie, so he dozed off. Uninterestedly, he opened the book to study. Disinterested. பாரபட்சமின்றி. நடுநிலையாக. All judges must be disinterested in the verdicts they give. To a mother, all her children are equal. She has a disinterested attitude. A politician should be disinterested in what he does for his people. Economic. பொருளாதாரம் தொடர்பான. The economic condition of India is better compared to that of many other countries. His economic condition did not permit him to buy a car. His economic status made him popular among his friends. Economical. சிக்கனமான. It is economical to travel to work by bus. They lived economically so that they could save money for their sons' higher education. His economical nature made him the butt of ridicule among his classmates. Historic. முக்கியமான. மகத்துவம் வாய்ந்த. Marriage is a historic occasion in a person's life. The historic conquest by the Mughals changed the history of India. The historic Salt Satyagraha made India the focus of world attention. Historical. வரலாறு சம்பந்தப்பட்ட. It is a historical movie. There is historical evidence to prove that these tribes lived in this area. Historical films have a lot of grandeur about them. Councillor. Councilin அங்கத்தினர். There was a meeting of the councillors at the city hall. The councillors are elected by the people of a city. The councillor of our area does nothing for our welfare. Counselor. ஆலோசனை வழங்குபவர். The student who had failed in the public exam was so miserable that she needed a counselor. The husband and wife, who were always fighting with each other, sought the help of a counselor to sort out their problems. Fury. நெருப்பை போன்று உக்கிரமான. There was a fiery storm that ravaged the city. Her fiery nature made her friendless. The politician's fiery speech won him loud cheer and applause. Fairy. Devadai. Children are like fairies. A fairy came and blessed the newborn. In pictures, fairies are shown to have wings. Illusion. மாயத்தோற்றம். Fame is an illusion. He lived under the illusion that one day he would become a billionaire. I have no illusions about the honesty of our politicians. Allusion, குறிப்பு. There are several allusions to the Bible in this novel. There was an allusion to the Bhopal gas tragedy in that movie. There were several allusions to her personal sufferings when the leader spoke. Avoid, விலகி இருத்தல், தவிர்த்தல். You should avoid coffee as it has caffeine. Avoid this route during peak hours. To avoid hitting the old woman crossing the road, he swerved the car and banged against the lamppost. Prevent, நிகழாமல் தடுத்தல். To prevent malaria, one should keep the surroundings clean. You can prevent accidents if you drive carefully. The government is constructing a dam to prevent the flooding of the low-lying area. Carrier, சுமந்து செல்பவர், எடுத்துச் செல்ல பயன்படுத்தப்படும் பொருள். Mother packs the children's lunch in tiffin carriers. He put his bag in the cycle carrier. Mosquitoes are the carriers of malaria. Courier, தூதுவர், பொருளை கொண்டு தருபவர். The courier handed over the packet to me. The courier service is very useful as it delivers mail at our doorstep. We sent the document through courier. Career, தொழில். A doctor's career is a tension-filled one. He chose engineering as his career. Few people study the job market before choosing their career. Adopt, ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளுதல், தத்தெடுத்தல். The members of parliament adopted the motion unanimously. The large-hearted couple adopted a child orphaned in the tsunami. In India, a married woman adopts the customs and practices of her husband's house. Adapt, சூழ்நிலைக்கு தக்கவாறு மாற்றிக்கொள்ளுதல். A chameleon adapts itself to its environment. It takes the color of the tree or leaf on which it sits. Children easily adapt themselves to new surroundings. The baby was unable to adapt itself to the biting cold of the new place. Adept, திறமை வாய்ந்த. My father is adept at swimming. He won a gold medal in swimming when he was a teenager. In an adept manner, the soldier jumped over the fence. Cats are adept at catching mice. Rise, எழுதல், ஏற்றம், பெருக்கம். Our yoga teacher rises every morning at 4 o'clock. The people rose in rebellion when the government failed to attend to their needs. The rise in the water level in the dam caused a lot of worry to the villagers living around the dam. Raise, தூக்குதல், வளர்த்தல், சம்பள உயர்வு. She was raised by her grandparents as she lost her parents early on. A pole was raised and the flag was hoisted on it. He got a salary raise this year. Official, அலுவலகம் தொடர்பான, அலுவலர். My father goes to Mumbai on official work. The results of the election are now official. Officially, he is still the chief minister, though the party is searching for a replacement. Officious, பிறர் விஷயத்தில் தலையிடுதல், பிறரை அடக்கி ஆள நினைத்தல். His officious nature did not get him any friends at work. My boss is an officious man. He is always interfering in my work. The officious minister ordered his secretary out of the room. Personal, தனிப்பட்ட. He went to America on personal work. A diary is the personal possession of an individual. He got too personal with her and she didn't like that. Personal, personal. அலுவலகப் பணியாளர். The fire service personnel quickly put out the fire in the hotel. The personnel of the HR department take care of the recruitment of people into the company. The personnel on the Prime Minister's staff are very powerful people. Rare. அரிய, அடிக்கடி காணப்படாத. In today's world, it is rare to find someone who doesn't know computers. There are some rare books in that library. There are rare stretches of greenery in a desert. Scarce, பற்றாக்குறை, போதாத. Food becomes scarce during war times. Fresh vegetables became scarce during the drought. Water is scarce in a desert. Next, அடுத்துள்ள. Which is the next bus to Mysore? Next, fold this paper along its edge. Neela will be the next leader of our class. Nearest, அருகிலுள்ள. Which is the nearest railway station? The nearest telephone booth is 2 kilometers away. The nearest restaurant is the one on Chemiers Road. Forgo, forgo. விட்டுவிடுதல், இல்லாமல் இருத்தல். You will have to forgo meat while you are at my place. We are vegetarians. He decided to forgo alcohol after he met the doctor. I will forgo this chance to go abroad as my mother is not keeping good health. Foregoing, முன்னால் இருக்கும், முன்பே தீர்மானிக்கப்பட்ட. We got into the foregoing coach. It is a foregone conclusion that he will win the elections. Read the foregoing paragraph once again. Dye, சாயம் அல்லது வர்ணம் பூசுதல். It will be good if you can dye this dress black. She dyed her hair brown. This dye is of good quality. It will not spread everywhere. Die, உயிரிழத்தல். People who die for the country are called martyrs. He died a hero's death, saving the little children from the burning hut. In underdeveloped countries, many people die of starvation. Delivery, பட்டுவாடா. The delivery of mail was stopped for a few days because of the war-like situation in the city. The courier company is known for its speedy delivery. The workers worked day and night to meet the delivery schedule. Deliverance, மோசமான நிலையில் இருந்து விடுதலை அளித்தல். To the people marooned because of the floods, deliverance came in the form of a helicopter dropping food packets. Gandhiji toiled hard for the deliverance of India. Human, மனிதன், மனிதன் சம்பந்தப்பட்ட. To err is human, to forgive is divine. It is human nature to expect love from his near and dear ones. Desire for wealth and fame is a human trait. Humane, இரக்கமுடைய, அன்பான. In a humane act, he jumped into the water and saved the drowning man. His humane nature is the talk of the town. Humane care towards animals is as important as being kind to human beings. Industrial, தொழில் சம்பந்தப்பட்ட. This being an industrial area, there aren't many residential buildings here. For the industrial development of a country, raw materials should be freely available. The industrial wastes are being dumped into the sea. Industrious, கடினமாக உழைக்கும். Her industrious nature is the reason for her success. The industrious businessman sleeps for barely 4 hours every day. Owing to the industrious labor of the employees, that software company has reached the pinnacle of glory. Inflate, வீங்கச் செய்தல். காற்றை அடைத்தல். Father inflated a balloon for the child to play with. The war inflated the prices of essential goods. The mechanic fixed the puncture on the tire and inflated it. Deflate, மதிப்பை குறைத்தல். உள்காற்றை வெளிப்படுத்துதல். They deflated the airbed in order to shift it to another place. He felt deflated after the sad incident. The scolding from his boss deflated his self-confidence. Degree, taram, nilai, siru alavu kooru. The child showed some degree of improvement after the treatment. There are 360 degrees in a circle. The degree of torture that he was put through made him confess the truth. Decree, sattam, uttaravu. The king decreed that all firstborn male babies must be killed. According to the new decree, people cannot take out processions in that town. The decree was passed in the parliament after the members debated over it. Repel, துரத்துதல், தடுத்து நிறுத்துதல், வெறுத்து ஒதுக்குதல். The vapor from the mosquito repellent repels the mosquitoes. Bad body odor repels others. The brave soldiers repelled the enemy attack. Repeal, தள்ளுபடி செய்தல், ரத்து செய்தல், நீக்குதல். The law was repealed after the public protested very strongly. The order on the dress code in colleges was repealed after student outcry. The strict punishments for traffic violations were repealed when the new government came to power. Discourse, விரிவுரை, விளக்கப்பேருரை, ஆன்மீகப் பேச்சு. These days, even young people attend religious discourses. There was a discourse on the stock market by the RBI governor. The discourse was punctuated by hymns in which the people also joined. Discord, கருத்து மாறுபாடு, முரண்பாடு, சண்டை. The discord between the couple reached a stage where divorce was the only option. The discord between the two countries worsened after the terrorist attacks. The judge tried to lessen the discord between the brothers. Retain, நிறுத்தி வைத்துக் கொள்ளுதல், தக்க வைத்துக் கொள்ளுதல். The house owner retained the right to visit the house and inspect whether the tenant has maintained it well. This soil retains water and hence it is good for crops, which need a lot of water. I cannot retain so much information in my mind. I need a slip of paper from where I can read out. Sustain, balu thangudal. The poor people were unable to sustain themselves with the small quantities of food available. We sustained ourselves on bread and water. She alone sustained her family. Adjoin, தொட்டடுத்து, அடுத்தடுத்து. The press is waiting in the adjoining room. Canada adjoins the USA. I am adjoining a company of my lawyer's letter. Adjourn, ஒத்தி போடுதல், தள்ளி வைத்தல். The meeting was adjourned as the members could not reach a decision. The court adjourned. We adjourned for lunch. Reference, குறிப்பு, மேற்கோள். There is a reference to this land in the Bible. It is used as a reference for comparing the electrical and heat energies involved. The speaker made several references to his wife. Reverence, பெருமதிப்பு, மரியாதை. People treat the Pope with a lot of reverence. Professors are treated with reverence by the students. Godmen are treated with reverence in our country. Resume, விட்ட இடத்திலிருந்து தொடர்தல். He resumed his speech after the interruption. The serial resumed after the commercial break. The management resumed the negotiations with the striking workers. Presume, இருப்பதாக நினைத்துக் கொள்ளுதல், உண்மையென்று எடுத்துக் கொள்ளுதல். He was presumed to be dead in the train accident. I presumed that you know where I live. I presume you will come to work tomorrow. Lunar, நிலவு சம்பந்தப்பட்ட. There was a lunar eclipse yesterday. It is presumed that there is no life on the lunar surface. India has sent a lunar module. Solar, சூரியன் சம்பந்தப்பட்ட. The solar eclipse was watched by many people with fascination. Solar energy can be used to produce heat and electricity. This car runs on solar battery. Plaintiff, வழக்கு தொடுப்பவர். The plaintiff blamed the accused of murdering his sister. Mr. Rao is the plaintiff in this case. The judge called both the plaintiff and the accused and spoke to them. Plaintiff, துயரம் நிறைந்த. There was a plaintive atmosphere in the town after the earthquake. He looks so plaintive all the time. What is wrong with him? The plaintive tune made many hearts melt. Prescription, மருந்து சீட்டு. வழிமுறைகளுக்கான குறிப்பு. Hard work is the prescription for success. I took the doctor's prescription to the pharmacist. I got a prescription for my eyeglasses from the doctor. Inscription, எழுத்து பொறிப்பு. The inscription on the tomb mentioned the date of his birth and death. The inscriptions on the walls of our temples record the history of ancient times. Statute, அமைப்பு விதி. The statute of Magna Carta gave political rights to English barons. The statute was passed by the elected members. The statute of the company was formulated within a year of its founding. Statue, சிலை. Our ancient temples are full of beautiful statues carved by skilled sculptors. She stood like a statue when the bear approached her. The statue of the mother holding her baby won the first prize in the competition. Restrain, தடுத்து நிறுத்துதல். அடக்குதல், தடை செய்தல். The men were restrained by their leader from turning violent. She restrained her husband from fighting with the stranger. The children who went on the picnic were restrained by the teacher from standing in the seawater. Restrict, வரையறைப்படுத்துதல், அடைத்து வைத்தல். Entry into defense establishments is restricted. Admission to this movie is restricted only to adults. In India, voting rights are restricted to those above the age of 18. Derive, பெறுதல், தொடக்கம் அல்லது மூலத்தை கண்டுபிடித்தல். President Kalam used to derive pleasure from the Mughal gardens in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The name Chennai is derived from the old name of Chennapatnam. Parents derive a lot of pleasure looking at their children. Deprive, இழக்கச் செய்தல், இல்லாமல் செய்தல். The stock market deprived him of all his wealth. The government should do something for the deprived people of our country. Refuge, புகலிடம், அடைக்கலம். He took refuge in the forest all day. Mother Teresa's Home for Destitutes provides refuge for homeless people. In the hot summers, we take refuge in the shade of trees. Refuse, மறுத்தல், இல்லை என்று கூறுதல். I refuse to answer your question. They refused to let him in as he did not have a ticket. Being a proud man, he refused to accept help from his father. Discover, ஏற்கனவே இருக்கும் ஒன்றினை கண்டுபிடித்தல். Columbus discovered America. Who discovered the North Pole? The discovery of the island brought about a revolution in sea traffic. Invent, புதிதாக ஒன்றினை கண்டுபிடித்தல். Who invented penicillin? The Italian electrical engineer Marconi invented wireless telegraphy that led to the invention of the radio. Sink, பொருள் நீரில் மூழ்குதல். மூழ்குதல். The boat sank in the deep seas. The sinking of the Titanic hit the headlines the following day. My heart sank when I heard the news of my friend's death. Drone, மனிதன் அல்லது விலங்கு. நீரில் மூழ்குதல். மூழ்குதல். 4 young boys drowned in the rough sea last week. Her pet dog drowned in the floods that engulfed the village. The noise drowned her speech. Accept. ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளுதல். She apologized for not being able to accept his invitation. Joan of Arc did not accept the ruling of the church. The engineer accepted the offer and joined the company. Except. நீங்களாக, தவிர. Except Gandhiji, all other men were dressed in suits. Except tomato, all other vegetables were available in the market today. Except the math paper, I have done all other papers well. Among, பலருக்கிடையில். There is a lot of discussion among nations on terrorism. There was discord among the 3 brothers over the ancestral property. The deer hid among the trees. Between, இருவருக்கிடையில். There is always a lot of suspicion about each other between the 2 countries. Between us, I will tell you a secret. Between the 2 houses stood a huge banyan tree. Farther, innum தொலைவில். His house is farther from the city than mine is. The storm moved farther north. As he went farther, he lost all contact with his team. Further, மேலும். Let's not discuss it further. The situation became further complicated because of the non-availability of transport. On further study, we found the scheme useless. Respectfully, மரியாதையுடன். The nation respectfully paid homage to the dead leader. The audience respectfully stood up as the national anthem was played. He spoke respectfully to his teacher even though he was the president of the country. Respectively, முறையே. The brothers were called Felix and Max respectively. Mumbai and Bangalore are the capitals of Maharashtra and Karnataka respectively. Hard, kadinamana. It is hard for me to keep a secret. It is hard to believe that he could have stolen the book. A hard blow on his chin made him reel and fall down. Hardly, அரிதாக, போதாமல். It hardly rains in this part of the country. We hardly know them to pass a comment on them. He hardly ever goes fishing. It is not his cup of tea. Alternate, மாறி மாறி வருகின்ற. ஒன்று விட்ட. It keeps raining on alternate days here. The maid comes on alternate days. Every alternate hour there is a bus to the airport. Alternative, இரண்டில் ஒன்று. மாற்று வழி. What is the alternative route to the railway station? There is no alternative to this political party. We have an alternative plan in case this one fails. Meditate. தியானம் செய்தல், ஆழ்ந்து சிந்தித்தல். People who meditate for a few hours every day are at peace with themselves. He meditated well before reaching a decision. The ancient sages of our country used to meditate for days and months together. Mediate, இணக்கம் ஏற்படுத்துதல். The judge tried to mediate between the couple so that they would drop their divorce plea. The elderly man tried to mediate between the warring brothers. Ream, 20 ஸ்கொயர் அளவு கொண்ட கட்டு, சுமார் 500 காகிதத் தாள்கள். A ream of paper costs 3 times what it was some years back. He fed a ream of paper into the printer. Reams of paper are stocked by the school in preparation for the examination. Realm, ஆட்சி எல்லை. The people in the king's realm were contented as they led peaceful lives. The 16th century saw the rise of the realm of cotton in the south. Almost the entire north part of India soon came under the reign of the Mughal kings. Severe, Tundittal, Pirittal. The judge tried his best to unite the severed people who had filed for a divorce. The elders of the village tried to unite the severed families. India decided to sever its trade with her neighbor. Sever, கொடுமையான. The blow on his chin caused him to reel under severe pain. Punishment for stealing is quite severe in these countries. Under severe cold, the leaves and plants are wilting. Usher. வாயில் காப்போன் வழிகாட்டி அழைத்துச் செல்பவர். The usher in the cinema hall showed us to our seats. The peon ushered the visitor into the MD's room. The end of winter ushers spring in. Ushura, ushura. அநியாய வட்டிக்கு பணம் கடன் கொடுப்பவர். Shylock was a usurer hated by everyone. Knowing no other way out of his problem, he borrowed money from a usurer. The usurer's greed surpassed all levels of decency. Wallet, wallet, சிறுபை, பணப்பை, purse. Someone picked my wallet in the train. I want a small and sturdy leather wallet. I put the notes and coins separately in my wallet. Valet, வேலைக்காரன், உதவியாளர். This hotel has valet parking facility. You can hand over your car to the valet. His valet brushed his coat, polished his shoes and got everything ready for him. Army officers have their own valets. Illicit, சட்டத்திற்கு புறம்பான, அறத்திற்கு புறம்பான. His illicit relationship with his secretary became the talk of the office. The illicit mining of sand quarries was talked about by every newspaper. Some people illicitly occupied the houses meant for slum dwellers. Illicit, வெளிக்கொணர்தல். The interrogation elicited some startling truths. Can all this discussion elicit a solution to this problem? Their service is good. Any queries elicit prompt replies from them. Affect, பாதிப்பு ஏற்படுத்துதல். Verb, the death of a dear one affects us badly. The new rule about smoking in public places will not affect me as I don't smoke. The cold winter has affected the baby badly. Effect, பலன், பாதிப்பு, noun. The father's words had no effect on the young boy. The effect of sunlight falling on the sea was fantastic. The effect of sleeplessness makes one drowsy all through the day. Compliment, வாழ்த்து, பாராட்டு, புகழ்ச்சி, பரிசாக தரப்படும் பொருள். The actor received compliments from everyone on his new look. Compliments from people motivate one to perform better. The company gives New Year compliments to all its staff. Complement, முழுமையாக்கும் ஒன்று, நிரப்பும் பொருள். Jewelry complements a woman's attire. A fruit or a dessert complements a meal. A full complement of workers attended the meeting. Continuous, விடாமல் தொடர்ந்து. A continuous rearrangement of electrons in the solar atoms result in the emission of light. It rained continuously for an hour. The Jews lived in continuous fear of persecution. Continual, தொடர்ச்சியாக, ஆனால் சிறு இடைவெளிகளுடன். There was a continual banging on the window by the men outside. Continual rain lashed at the city for a full week. The continual nagging by his wife led the young man to commit suicide. Queue, வரிசை. People stood in the queue to get their ration. The children were asked to form a queue for the morning assembly. People stood in a queue to pay their respects to the departed leader. Queue, குறிப்புச் சொல், குறிப்புச் செய்கை, நினைவூட்டும் சொல். The actor followed his assistant's cue and delivered the dialogues. On a cue from the minister, the secretary ended the press conference. As if on cue, everyone started shouting. Antique, பண்டை காலத்தின், மிகப்பழைய. Women today are fond of antique jewelry. I like antique furniture. It makes the house look classical. The car is an antique piece. Antic. Komalitvanam. His antics made the children laugh. His antics were put on by him to mislead others into thinking that he was mad. The comedian's antics were an instant hit with the moviegoers. Confident. Nambikayudan. I am very confident that we will win today's match. We have practiced hard. His manner is more confident these days. The director gave a confident reply to the worried shareholders. Confident. Andaranga Nanban. Nambikkaikku pathiramaanavan. She has a confidant who guides her every step. She has a confidant who guides her every step. As his confidant, I have to keep his secrets. As his confidant, I have to keep his secrets. The servant soon won the master's confidence and became his confidant. The servant soon won the master's confidence and became his confidant. Corps. Padaipayirchi Kuru. Kuru. The army corps visited the border areas. The diplomatic corps were sent to the neighboring country to establish a rapport with that government. Corpse. Sadalam. Pinam. The unidentified corpse was taken to the government mortuary. The police search resulted in the discovery of the corpse. The corpse was buried by the police. Emigrant. தன் நாடு விட்டு பிற நாட்டிற்கு குடிபெயர்ந்தவர். The immigrants to America made that country their home. The immigrants follow their motherland's culture in their new abode. The immigrants to USA soon became citizens of that country with American passports. Immigrant. ஒரு நாட்டில் குடியேறுபவர். During the Bangladesh War, many immigrants moved to India and settled here. Many Tamilians have moved to several parts of the world as immigrants. One needs a valid visa to enter a country as an immigrant. Famous. புகழ் பெற்ற. பலர் அறிந்த. The Meenakshi temple at Madurai is as famous for the deity inside as it is for its beautiful sculptures. Amitabh Bachchan is a famous actor. Mother Teresa became famous after she took the destitute of Kolkata into her home. Notorious. கெட்ட பெயரெடுத்த. Charles Sobraj was a notorious criminal. The Chambal Valley was notorious for the dacoits. The notorious gangster was killed in the encounter with the police. Genius. பேரறிவாளன். Mozart was a genius from his childhood. He has a genius for interior decoration. The inspector was a genius in solving cases. Genial. சந்தோஷமாக பழகுகின்ற. அன்புள்ள. தோழமை குணமுடைய. His genial nature won him many friends. As she was a genial hostess, her parties were very popular. The genial sunshine was welcomed by people after the heavy rains. Honorable. மதிப்பிற்குரிய. பெருமைக்குரிய. The Honorable Chief Minister was given a ceremonial welcome. Soldiers do honorable service to their country. He led an honorable life and died an honorable man. Honorary. உழைப்பூதியமின்றி பணி செய்கிற. மதிப்பு காரணமாக வழங்கப்படும். An honorary doctorate was awarded to the chief minister by that university. It's an honorary post. He doesn't draw a salary. She teaches at the university as an honorary professor. Imaginary. கற்பனையான. She was obsessed with an imaginary ghost. He lives in an imaginary world. The child plays with her imaginary friends. Imaginative. படைக்கும் திறன் உள்ள. The fashion designer's designs are very imaginative. The painting made by the child was very imaginative. The imaginative poem won the first prize in the poetry writing contest. Moral. நல்ல அறத்தை பற்றிய நீதி கருத்து படிப்பினை. The moral of the story is that honesty always wins. He had the moral courage to admit his mistake in front of everyone. The Indian mythology is full of stories that impart good morals to children. Morale, ஒழுங்குணர்வு, உள அமைதி. The morale of the team was boosted after the captain's pep talk and encouraging words. The morale of the soldiers increased after the first victory. To pep up the morale of his team, the team leader sent out mails of appreciation to each of them. Ignorant, அறியாமை, உணராமை. He was ignorant of the rule that the pillion rider too must wear a helmet. He was ignorant of the truth and scolded his wife. An ignorant man 10 years back, today he can read and write thanks to the adult education scheme of the government. Innocent, களங்கமற்ற தன்மை. He pleaded innocent before the judge. Children are innocent. He played an innocent prank on his friend, but it turned out to be catastrophic. Psychologist, உளவியல் நிபுணர். The psychologist counseled his patient. After a visit to the psychologist, I am feeling heaps better. The psychologist taught him several techniques to avoid mental tension and depression. Physiologist, உடலியல் நிபுணர். My uncle is a physiologist and he is doing research in genetic science. A physiologist is a life scientist. A physiologist deals with the processes and functions of the organs of our body. Remember, நினைவில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளுதல். I must remember to wish my uncle on his birthday. I can't remember her phone number. She remembered how he used to give her flowers every day. Remind, ஞாபகப்படுத்துதல். Remind me to carry my ID card. The secretary reminded her boss that he had a meeting with the minister that evening. The wife reminded her husband that he had to take their child to the doctor. Septic, அழுகச் செய்கிற. The wound became septic because she didn't attend to it. A septic sewage is the cause for the onset of many dangerous diseases. Antiseptics prevent a wound from rotting and keep the area clean and sterile. Skeptic, பொதுவாக எல்லோராலும் நம்பப்படும் விஷயங்களை நம்பாமல் சந்தேகப்படுபவன். The people being skeptics, they did not immediately accept the teachings of Gautama Buddha. I am a little skeptic about his passing the exam this time too, as I can see how he has prepared for it. Sensible, அறிவுடைய, ஆராய்ந்து முடிவெடுக்கும் வல்லமை படைத்த. He took a sensible decision to return to India. Your choice of not taking up biology for your undergraduate course is a sensible one. I know your dislike for that branch of science. It's a sensible approach to talk to the union leaders first. Sensitive, எளிதில் உணர்ச்சி வசப்படும். The leaves of the touch-me-not plant are sensitive to touch. They shrink at human touch. Leaders must be sensitive to the needs of the people. My skin is very sensitive. It erupts into rashes at extreme cold or heat. Sociable, கூடி பழகும் தன்மையுடைய. His sociable nature makes him very popular at parties. I enjoyed a sociable conversation with my fellow passengers on the train. Weddings are social occasions. Social, சமூகம் சார்ந்த. She spends all her time and money on social work. Every one of us must have a social consciousness and do something for the unfortunate sections of our society. A human being is a social animal. Trash, குப்பை. Please do not throw the trash all over the place. Empty it into the trash bin. This newspaper writes a lot of trash about the personal lives of movie stars. I am thinking of trashing this old furniture and buying new ones. Thrash. Vanmayaga adi. Poradi. Thrashing is a common punishment for crime in some societies. The TV channel thrashed the government's inaction in the face of the communal riot. The farmer thrashed the rice from the husk. Absolute. Mudumayana. Varambatra. Mutrilumaga. Absolute silence invaded the hall after the principal made the announcement of the student's unfortunate accident. The workers have pledged absolute loyalty to their organization. She gives her children absolute freedom to do what they want and they don't misuse this. Obsolete. Vadakil illada. Many words in a language become obsolete with time. This cut of trousers is obsolete now. It is no longer in fashion. The obsolete locomotive was put on display at the exhibition. Access. நுழைவாயில், நுழைவுரிமை, எளிதில் அடையும் அல்லது அணுகும் உரிமை. The access road to the building is full of potholes. The terrorist gained access to the building posing as an employee. Slide in your access card and the door will open. Excess. தேவைக்கு அதிகமான. He has joined the weight loss program to lose the excess weight. I ate excessively at the party and now I have a stomach upset. Put aside the excess change, it will come of use another day. Censor. தணிக்கையாளர், கண்காணிப்பவர். The Censor Board of India first watches a movie and then certifies it to be fit for public viewing. In that country, the press is constantly censored by a board. The producer was asked by the censors to cut the scene of violence from the movie. Censure. Thittu. Nindai. Padippu. The politician censured the newspaper for misinterpreting his words. He was censured by his teacher for teasing his classmate. Even after repeated censure, the officer refused to change his corrupt ways. Calendar. Naalkatti. She looked at the calendar every day, eagerly awaiting her wedding day. The MD's calendar is full this whole week. He can't meet you this week. This job must be completed in this calendar year itself. Colander. Colander. அடியில் சிறு துவாரங்கள் கொண்ட வடித்தட்டு. She used a colander to strain the water from the vegetables. In restaurant kitchens, they have huge colanders. A vessel was kept below the colander to collect the strained water. Luxurious. சொகுசான, ஆடம்பர வாழ்க்கையை விரும்புகிற. As a prince, Gautama led a luxurious life. The suite was a luxurious one with crystal chandeliers and Persian carpets. Traveling in a luxurious bus makes the journey very comfortable. Luxuriant. கொடுத்து வளர்ந்துள்ள, மிகையான. There was a luxuriant growth of trees in that area. Her luxuriant hair made her look very beautiful. The luxuriant trees in the bungalow made it easy for the burglar to hide. Momentary. கணநேரமே நிலைக்கின்ற, தோன்றி மறைகின்ற. The doctor promised me that I would suffer from only a momentary pain. Wealth is momentary. What lasts is character. I had a momentary glimpse of the mosque as the train sped by. Momentous. முக்கியத்துவம் வாய்ந்த, முக்கியத்துவம் நிறைந்த, சிறப்பு வாய்ந்த. The centenary celebration was a momentous occasion for the school. The Sepoy Mutiny is a momentous incident in the history of the Indian freedom struggle. Felicitate. வாழ்த்து கூறுதல், மகிழ்ச்சி தெரிவித்தல். The brave child was felicitated at a special function. A meeting has been organized to felicitate the new office bearers. The school felicitated the top rankers at the assembly. Facilitate. எளிதாக்குதல், உதவுதல். You could facilitate the entire process by sharing your knowledge. The freeing of the hostages was facilitated by the mediator. His recovery after the surgery was facilitated by a healthy diet and good care. gracious, அழகான, இரக்கமுள்ள, இணக்கமுள்ள. She graciously accepted our invitation to visit our school. Very graciously, he helps people in need. He bears even insults with grace. Graceful, அழகான இயக்கம் அல்லது நடை உடை பாவனை. The deer runs very gracefully. The Odyssey is a graceful dance. She walks with the typical grace of a dancer. Infectious, காற்றில் பரவும் நோய்கள். Typhoid is an infectious disease. Her laughter is infectious. When she begins to laugh, everybody starts laughing. Fear is exceedingly infectious. Children catch it from their elders. Contagious, தொடுவதால் பரவும் நோய்கள். Dysentery is a contagious disease. This disease is contagious. You better keep the patient isolated. Since she was suffering from a contagious disease, she had a separate plate and glass. Junction, சந்திப்பு, இணைப்பிடம். At Salem Junction, many people change trains to go to various places. My house is at the junction of Andrews Road and Madhavan Nair Road. At the T junction, you take a right. Juncture, முக்கியமான சமயம், திருப்புமுனை. At that juncture, he did not know what to do. He is at a juncture where he has to take a decision on this matter. At a critical juncture, he got help from his friend. Differ, வேறுபடுதல். The twins differ only in one respect. Their eyes look different. I beg to differ. I don't think this project has to be handled in this manner. Our sum totals differ by 1 decimal point. Differ, கீழ்ப்படி, விட்டுக்கொடு, கால நீடிப்புச் செய். The meeting was deferred to another date owing to the sudden demise of the chairman. Don't differ things. It will soon accumulate into unmanageable tasks. In deference to popular opinion, the minister stepped down from office. Descent, இறங்குதல், இரக்கம், பரம்பரை. The descent was more difficult than the ascent. It was a descent of sorts when the director agreed to the demands of the workers. He comes from a good descent. Dissent, கருத்து வேறுபாடு, எதிர்ப்பு. Gandhiji expressed his dissent in a non-violent way. The enemy will take advantage of the dissent among us. The people expressed their dissent to the government by taking out rallies and protest marches. Ascent, ஏற்றம். We soon became breathless as the ascent was quite steep. The horse took the ascent swiftly and easily. As he ascended up the corporate ladder, his personal comforts increased. Assent, உடன்பாடு, சம்மதம், அனுமதி. The president gave his assent to the electoral reforms. The musician assented to the request for an encore. The young girl gave her assent to the marriage proposal. Ordinance, சட்டம். The government passed an ordinance to introduce VAT. There was a lot of debate among traders and the general public over this ordinance. The ordinance of the male heir succession was opposed by many kings. Ordnance, தளவாடங்கள், பீரங்கிகள். A lot of advanced ordnance was ordered by the army to combat terrorism. The kind of ordnance a country has decides its safety and security. The extremists raided the ordnance store and took away a lot of arms and ammunitions. Popular, மக்கள் விரும்பும். Shah Rukh Khan is a popular Hindi actor. Bell-bottom pants are no longer popular. On popular demand, he sang the hit song once again. Populous, அதிக மக்கள் வசிக்கும். India is a populous country. The dropping of the bomb in the most populous area of the city increased the number of casualties. Epidemics spread far more easily in populous areas. Alteration. மாற்றுதல். After alteration, the shirt fitted me perfectly. A last-minute alteration of our plan led to a lot of confusion. The alteration of the attack plan took the enemy by surprise. Altercation. வாய்ச்சண்டை. சச்சரவு. The car banged against the scooter, causing an altercation between the owners of the two vehicles. The verbal altercation soon developed into a physical fight. Site. மன இடம். A house is being built on the site. This is a good site for a school, as it is far away from the main road. The Israeli website was damaged by hackers. Sight. பார்வை. He lost his eyesight in the accident. The sight of the airplane taking off or landing always fascinates me. He is a familiar sight on television. Current. நடைமுறை. வழக்கிலுள்ள. மின்சாரம். One needs to be thorough with current events before attending an interview. Corruption in public places is the current topic of discussion. We get current news on the internet too. Currant. விதையில்லாத திராட்சைப்பழம். Currants are used to make jellies and jams. Currants grow in abundance in California and in the Mediterranean region. Ice creams are garnished with currants. Cease. நிறுத்துதல். விட்டுவிடுதல். All hostilities between the two countries ceased on account of the ceasefire. The mixer ceased to function because of the sudden surge of voltage. Dinosaurs have ceased to exist millions of years ago. Seize. கைப்பற்று. The police seized the contraband. The terrorists seized the aircraft. Birds of prey seize small mammals. Canvas. kittan thuni. The trekkers camped in canvas tents. The artist's canvas was swathed in brilliant colors. In the crowded canvas of history, the names of some rulers stand out. Canvas. பிரச்சாரம் செய்தல். ஆதரவு கோருதல். The leader went from door to door canvassing for her party. The hectic canvassing of 1 month finally came to an end 2 days before the voting. This commercial brought out by this company to canvass its product is an interesting one. Creditable. சிறப்பான. She passed her exam creditably. The student's efforts on the essay were creditable. He gave a creditable concert which was appreciated by both fans and critics. Credible. நம்பத்தகுந்த. The police officer got credible information on the movement of the smugglers. The testimony of the witness was very credible. He is a credible fool. He believes everything he hears. Stationary. அசையாது இருக்கும். நகராது இருக்கும். The car remained stationary with the headlights on. In ancient times, people believed that the earth was stationary and the sun moved around it. My car hit the stationary wagon. Stationary. காகிதம், பேனா போன்ற பொருட்கள். The hotel keeps the best stationery for its guests. The students in this school are provided stationery items by the school. This stationery is of poor quality. The pencils keep breaking and the paper keeps tearing. Ensure. ஊர்ஜிதப்படுத்திக் கொள்ளுதல். உறுதிப்படுத்திக் கொள்ளுதல். This bank balance will ensure a comfortable retirement for us. He ensured that all the doors were locked properly before he left the house. Ensure that your computer is free of viruses. Insure. மரணம் அல்லது வேறு இழப்புகளுக்கு முன் காப்பீடு செய்தல். He has an insurance policy for 10 lakhs. It is safer to insure your house against burglary. We have insured this property against the outbreak of fire. Portable. எளிதில் தூக்கிச் செல்லத்தக்க. We bought a portable TV set so that we can view the programs in any room of our choice. This bed is of light weight. It is portable. The foldable cot is portable. Potable. குடிக்கத்தகுந்த. The water from this well is potable. It is difficult to find good potable water in cities because of the ground pollution. For a pot of potable water, the villager walked miles. Palate. மேல் அண்ணம், வாயின் மேல் பகுதி. The chewing gum stuck to his palate. He has a mannerism of running his tongue over his palate. Palate. வண்ணங்களை கலக்கும் கிண்ணம். The artist mixed the colors in his palette. A palette has several partitions for colors. The palette tilted, spilling all the paint over. Vein. இரத்த நாளம், இரத்த குழாய், இலையின் நரம்பு. Valor runs in his veins. All veins except the pulmonary vein carry unaerated blood. The vein of the leaf was clearly visible under the stain. Vein. வீணான, பயனற்ற, தற்பெருமை உள்ள. The droning man made a vain attempt to swim ashore. The doctor's efforts were in vain. The man collapsed. She is quite vain about her looks. Story. Kadai. Walt Disney's stories entertain both children and adults alike. He is a short story writer. Children of any age love to listen to stories. Story. Madi. He lives in a 40-story building. There are 26 stories in this building. Bane. Sabam. Aழிவு. துன்பம் தரக்கூடிய. Corruption is the bane of our political system. Illiteracy and poverty are the bane of our country. Pollution is the bane of cities. Boon. Parisu. Varaprasadam. A good breeze is a boon to sailors. Your friendship is a boon to me. For the childless couple, the baby was a boon. Exhausted. களைப்படைந்து, முழுவதும் செலவழிந்து போய். I was completely exhausted after the trek. The day's shopping left her exhausted. We have exhausted all our savings on buying this house. Exhaustive. முழுமையான. He gave an exhaustive account of his travels. The research organization made an exhaustive study on the eating habits of people. This article is by no means exhaustive.